Coming up on this edition of Laker TV, we'll look at some outstanding athletic accomplishments from a few of our many athletes here at CCHS. And our Laker Shorts department fights the dreadful final exam. And on this week's focal point, the problem with teen obesity. All coming up on Laker TV.
Hey Lakers, welcome back to another edition of Laker TV.
And our next to last show of the year. Man, this year's gone by fast.
Yeah, between EOCs and studying for finals, I've barely had time to enjoy these last few weeks.
That's true, though you can't complain about summer. You know what they say, sun's out, guns out.
I did not need that image in my mind, so let's just get on with the show.
Are you looking for something to do this summer? All right, let me rephrase that. Are your parents trying to get you out of the house this summer? Great. Then you might enjoy summer in the park at Bailey Pavilion in Central Park. From May 31st to July 15th, you can enjoy a variety of outdoor activities and free lunch. The event is open to all children through age 18, but children under 9 must be accompanied by an adult. If you're interested, talk to your school resource center for more information.
Congratulations to Calloway sophomore Kerrigan Fry. She was recently awarded second place in the City of Murray Human Rights Commission essay contest. Participants of the contest were asked to explore the definition of what human rights means and how they can relate it to their school and community. Kerrigan will receive a $25 award and a recognition certificate. Congratulations, Kerrigan.
I guess we should mention our theme for this week. It's Fitness Week.
That's right, Bradley, and we've got a ton of students pushing themselves to the limit this week. So for the rest of the show, we are going to get physical.
In recent weeks, we've told you about the great achievements of Lily Lowe, who is among the nation's best athletes in the high jump. Today on Laker TV, we look at 3 other members of the Laker track team who definitely have what it takes.
Well, I started running track in middle school and because my family's always done it, so I thought it'd be fun to try out. I actually stopped running for a while. My freshman year, I started again, and I actually made it to state my freshman year, so I thought that I should keep doing it, and I love the competitive atmosphere about it, and it really pushes me to be a better person, not just a better athlete. Other than triple jump, I run in the sprint relays, the 4x1 and the 4x2, and those are really fun because you're not just by yourself, you're with a team, and that's just a whole different dynamic. You get to meet new people and really just learn like how to work better with other people while also bettering yourself. The reason I started doing triple jump is because it was a really unique event. Like nobody really does it at Callaway or around this region. And you normally see people long jumping or just running, so I decided to do that, and I love it.
I like a lot of things about my event, mainly just being competitive and trying to outbeat or beat whoever I'm jumping against, and just trying to do the best I can do. Do some back-overs to try to get my form down, and I start out doing short approach jumps to work on explosion. Then I go to about midway and do about a 5-step approach, still work on explosion. Then I do my full approach stuff and just gradually go up. They introduced me to the high jump pit, and they asked me if I wanted to try it, and I said yes, and we got further into that, and they found out I could jump pretty high, and they put me in my first meet. I ended up getting second place, I think, in my first meet, and then here I am.
This kid's either going to die or he just dropped out from outer space.
I want to be a state champion this year. I have a great opportunity to become a state champion, and I want to break the school record in several different events. I was a part of the sprint medley record here at Callaway until it was broken actually a couple weeks ago by some of my teammates. Not bitter there at all. But I plan on breaking the 400 in the coming up week. The 800 I plan on breaking this year and just being a state champion.
Jacob finds extra motivation with a runner from a nearby school.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he inspires me, but my, not really hatred, but my dislike towards him and the fact that he's beat me a couple of times really motivates me to run harder and just to beat him and his smug face. So that's probably my motivation.
Come on, Jacob!
I'm first in the region. At my last split, I was third in state. I might have dropped. I haven't run the 800 in a while. It's been about over a month. But I was third in the state, and with the boys teams, with our relays, we got some strong showings in the top 8 at state. We were third in state in the 4x8. We were 7th in the 4x4, which is huge standings from the boys team in track for Callaway's history. We really haven't had that strong standings overall, and we're looking great this year. Same thing on the girls' side. They're looking even better than us.
Come on, Jacob. Come on, Jacob.
In track, it's a job. You come here, you run until you throw up, and then you run some more, and then you go to a track meet and it's the same thing. It's a lot more running, and it's just we do it because we like to win. That's the reward for us. It's not just because we have fun, but it's because we win doing it.
We want to point out that Jacob's little sister, McKenna, produced that package for LakerTV, and she did a really nice job with that.
Yeah, she did. And now one of the Lakers featured in that story is the producer of our next feature segment. Here's Kevin Robertson with the scouting report on Callaway's ace pitcher.
Nice pitch.
That was a good pitch. She's our ace. She, when we know we've got to get a game won, we put her out there, and she does a good job, and she knows that. And right now, she's doing what we ask her to do. She's stepping up, being the leader, and being more vocal, and she's our ace. And when we need to get a win, that's who we put on the mound.
Calloway County junior Laken Kelso hasn't been a well-known strikeout pitcher in years past, but Coach Troy Webb has indicated that this year things have changed.
And there's strike three. Yeah, right now Laken this year, as far as pitching-wise, she's got like 189 strikeouts, only 8 walks, and for a pitcher, that's big time. And that's all-American numbers, and she's doing a great job of throwing strikes and getting outs. And her ERA is around 2, and she's pitched very well. And for her to get that many strikeouts, she hasn't been known to strikeout pitcher to this year, and all of a sudden she stepped it up and got a lot of strikeouts and not very many walks. That's what's keeping us in a lot of the games.
Well, we just saw the success that comes with being physically fit. Coming up on the second half of the show, Focal Point shows us the problem with not being in very good condition.
And we'll see how a CCHS graduate has made a business out of being physical fit.
All this and more after the break.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Here's a weighty question for you. Is our generation destined to become the most overweight adult population in American history? There are certainly some trends pointing in that direction. In today's Focal Point segment, we take a look at why American teens should be concerned.
Hey, you're fat, at least statistically speaking anyway. According to the Center for Disease and Control and Prevention, or CDC, 36% of all Americans are obese. This number falls slightly to 33% when dealing specifically with teens. But what is the problem with being obese? The risks of the physical state include increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, breathing problems, and trouble sleeping. Some of the main causes for obesity could be inactivity and adding on fast food and unhealthy snacking throughout the day.
Each year, the obesity rate is increasing in America. But why is this? Could it be due to fattening foods or lack of physical exercise? What do you think the percentage of obesity is in the U.S.?
Well, on certain stuff I've seen, I think it's around 50–60% probably. In certain age groups, I don't know how they break it down actually, but it's around 50–60%, I think.
70% of the people? That's a lot, right?
43%.
Like over half, probably.
50%.
Say about 98–99% obese.
Probably like at least 60%, a lot.
Do you think people use food to fix their emotional issues?
I'd say that's definitely a case, and there is studies that have been shown to have proven that fact, that people will eat out of certain needs, and then as far as mental problems go.
Absolutely, because when I'm depressed, I can eat a whole tub of ice cream, so yeah.
But, I really think that if you just, and it doesn't have to be that strenuous of a routine that you set up, but just so you get some kind of activity on a daily basis, or at least 3 to 4 times per week.
Has obesity increased or decreased recently?
Increased.
Increased.
I think in the last 5 or 6, it's been a little more of a problem now than it was then, for sure.
We also talked to school nurse Vicki Williams about the potential risk of obesity.
It's very scary because of the results that it can lead to. I know adult onset or a type 2 diabetes was considered an adult illness. A lot of times it is slightly hereditary, but is also caused by poor health habits and lack of exercise. And now I have students that are even, I've had a couple in elementary, some in the middle school, definitely some in the high school that are type 2 diabetic, which used to be considered only an adult disease, is now becoming a childhood disease as well. It's from just being overweight in general. It's from poor health habits, lack of exercise, poor eating habits, too much intake of sugar and fat.
You may be wondering how to tell if you are obese. All you do is multiply your weight in pounds by 730 and divide that by your height in inches squared. This is called your BMI, or body mass index. A BMI between 18 and 24 is considered healthy. After seeing the risk, you may ask, how can I prevent obesity? Prevention can come in many different ways, such as exercise, limiting calorie intake, and cutting down on how much fast food we eat. One more obstacle you may have to overcome is inheriting the fat gene from your parents. This is a hereditary trait that could mean that you are genetically predisposed to obesity. As you can see through this look into obesity and the dangers of such a lifestyle, we as a school, as a community, as a state, and as a nation must take a stand against this life-threatening condition.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Physical exercise is one way to combat obesity, and things as simple as walking can help. But for those of you who are into more extreme workout, you may be interested in our next story. Everyone dreams about opening their own business at some point in their life, but only a few people actually follow these dreams. A 2012 Callaway alum has made that dream a reality. We go to reporter Cody Derricks for the story.
Do you think you are weak, that maybe if you went to the gym, you'd become stronger? Well, 2012 Callaway alumni Zach Orr has the answer. He has founded Murray's local gym called Downtown Dynabody. If you feel intimidated by a gym, Dynabody gives off a great atmosphere.
We're a very family atmosphere. And what I mean by that, it's not necessarily that, we have most of our families, we have a lot of families that come here, but each individual member, in a way, is part of our family. You'll see, especially when we get this around 5 o'clock when it gets to be really busy, the gym is a social environment. You'll see groups of people standing around, communicating. Everybody knows each other's names. Even though we're a 24-hour gym, we have people coming in at midnight. We have a bunch of friends that come in at midnight, people that know each other. Chances are, if you spend enough time at Downtown Dynabody, you're going to be part of the family, and you're going to find your group.
We also asked Zach what kind of advice he could give to local Callaway students that dream about opening their own business.
It's something that you have to take very seriously. I think almost everybody underestimates the amount of work that it takes when they start out. Owning your own business has its perks. You become your own boss, but you're also responsible for everything that goes on in the business. So it's a lot of stress. Getting started, it's a lot of work. Several 15-hour days I spent up here trying to get this building ready for it. So I would just advise a word of caution. You have to have a great work ethic, and you have to have a real vision for what you want to do in order for it to be successful. But as long as you put in the work and you have a good idea, and you know how to communicate and socialize with people, chances are that you could be a successful business person.
While it's definitely important to be physically fit, it is equally valuable to be mentally fit. Final season is upon us, and the shorts department takes a look at how to prepare for the big tests.
Finals, right? Yep. Ugh. He's sleeping. Wake up! Read it! Finish it! First things first. Get a good night's rest. What are you doing? I'm playing video games. Boy, I got enough nightmares to live with. You want to live with them too? No, sir. Then go with them! Get a good breakfast.
You're gonna clean that up out of my floor now. You're ready.
Well, this seems kind of easy this time. Are you sure I'm ready? It hasn't been that hard.
I've helped you all I can, but when you say that it's easy,
It's been easy.
that's what you think.
Whoa, how did I get here? And where's my fighter gear?
Fight.
There's nobody here to fight, so.
Tag team. Finals in the OC.
I don't have anyone to fight with me.
Joining Kenan is Dr. Awkward.
No, I don't want Dr. Awkward, so we're not doing that.
Finish him.
Fill in all the questions. Take a 50-minute break.
50 questions.
Studying.
1 minute left.
Review questions.
I beat them. Drill Sergeant, where are you? I got a bone to pick with you for throwing me in the fight.
That is all, students.
What was that? Drill Sergeant?
What you didn't know. It's on the principal.
No.
Students, take a lunch break.
We hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Only one more edition of Laker TV this school year.
Wow, it's really almost over. Only 8 more school days left because we get the day off next Tuesday for primary election day.
Speaking of Election Day, we've got a special Laker TV Extra coming up next for those of you who want to stick around for another 5 minutes. On this special pre-election day segment, 2 of our faculty members and 1 CCHS student share their take on this crazy race for the White House in November.
That's coming up next. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
The 2016 presidential elections. What comes to mind? Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders? This election is a hot topic as there's a lot of controversy behind each candidate. We will now look at how each candidate appeals to people and also how they are unappealing. We ask Mr. Grooms, Mr. Williams, and Josh Connor on their opinion.
Donald Trump, I think, is pretty abrasive. Some of his stances are very, very hardline. Immigration comes to mind, him wanting to build a wall. I think we need to control immigration and have controls on it, but I'm not sure about building a wall. So that comes to mind when it comes to Trump.
Hillary Clinton likes to say one thing and then do another. And I think that she doesn't feel like she should be held accountable for her actions. So I definitely do not think she is a great candidate for this country.
I think Bernie Sanders has really struck a fire with especially the younger generation, you know, that 18 to probably 30, in the late 20s. And he's done really well with that group, and he's kind of like Donald was early on. His supporters are very hardcore, you know, very intense. Part of it's he's different. He's not a politician. He's not the guy that we've been electing, you know, for year after year after year. I think some people they've been let down by electing the same people over and over, and so they don't feel like they're getting their bang for their buck in a sense. So.
Because he's wanting to do a lot. He's targeting a younger generation. not far away from you guys yourselves in age. He's wanting to give away college and things like that. And I think that's the appeal. I think he's trying to portray that he's going to go in and do the most and give the most bang for your buck kind of thing. And I think that's what's appealing about him.
Well, I think that people find Hillary Clinton appealing because she is a woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great thing. I think that they also find her appealing because her husband was a former president, and a lot of people feel like, you know, she has the experience to be a president. She has been a Secretary of State before. She has, you know, seen firsthand the issues that a president deals with on a daily basis. And to be honest, she's been around for so long in the political game that everybody knows her name. And I, even though that's true, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think what we need in office this year is another politician that has been there for years on end. I think we need to get somebody fresh and somebody who ultimately isn't a part of the Washington, D.C. establishment.
Again, I think it's the same thing that makes her appealing. I think a lot of people don't want a career politician in the office, and that's what she has been. I mean, she's been a senator, she's, you know, done the Secretary of State, you know, those things, and she's been around a long time. Her husband was there, so she was First Lady as well. And unfortunately, I mean, I think there are going to be people who think the fact that she is a woman is a turnoff. I don't think so. Women are qualified to hold the office of president. But I think the same thing that makes her popular makes her unpopular as well.
They find Donald Trump unappealing because he says very radical things that I disagree with on occasion, things that I think are rather absurd sometimes. And I think this is one of Donald Trump's big flaws, that if he does ultimately want to become the president, he's going to have to tone it down tremendously.
Well, he's been labeled by some, he's got that label of socialist, and when you use that word, that's very unappealing, especially to some, because they believe, you know, it's, you know, he wants to give a bunch of people free stuff, and he wants everybody else to pay for it, and that's going to work, and that is appealing to the younger generation, and that's part of the reason he's done so well. Whereas it's not as appealing to especially older people that have accumulated wealth, and they're going, I don't know about all that.